On this week's episode of The Smoke Break, we talk with comedian Amelia Evans about imposter syndrome and pain as it relates to artistry. Episodes drop on Spotify every Sunday after they air and Wednesdays on YouTube.
And we are here with The Smoke Break. We're here every Sunday from 9 to 10 a.m. on Shady Pines Radio, as well as Pretty Dope Xperience Radio. I'm your host, your old pal Zane, here with Malik Rayshawn.
What's poppin'?
Zoe Schwartz.
Hi.
And Amelia Evans.
Hi.
I'm so excited to have Malik back. So I was just so excited to have you back that I was
Thanks,
we'll get to you in just a second.
Yeah.
But Amelia Evans, you are our guest this week. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a stand-up comic in Portland, Oregon here, but I moved here from Buffalo, New York about 2 years ago.
Mhm.
And I've just been doing comedy for about 3 years. I love it so much.
Yeah. No, you have some really funny jokes, just even in regards to mental health. So that's why I'm really excited to have you here. So
Yeah, thanks. Honored to be here.
yeah. So Zoe, first topic. You're gonna go ahead and lead this one. I'm super excited.
Got this, yeah.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So we were talking about imposter syndrome and how that comes up sometimes when we're trying new things. Or for me, I experienced it with starting working as a therapist or when I first started comedy.
Mhm.
I find it for me, often when I pursue something that I was afraid of, but I really, really wanted, and then I start to have success or be put in a position where I'm being trusted with whatever this is.
Yeah.
And then I start to be like, wait, I don't belong here. Why am I doing that? And then it's but we worked so hard, or I or whoever has had that experience, you work so hard to get where you're at, and then you find reasons to doubt yourself. And I was just thinking that's sort of how it's been for me. And I was sort of wondering, how does that show up for you with art or with work? Or does that resonate with you at all, Amelia?
That definitely resonates with me. I feel like I definitely experience that in terms of work. I don't really love working. I do comedy, but I also have a regular job.
Mhm.
But sometimes I don't want to push myself to have actual career aspirations or push myself to do things with comedy that I know are going to help me move on to the next level,
Yeah.
or posting more reels or doing things that I know are going to help my career. It freaks me out.
Sure.
And I'm well, I'm not good enough to do that yet. Why would I put out my content from my first 3 years of comedy? Everybody says you're not good until your 10th year or whatever.
Yeah.
That's a lot of jokes in between.
Yeah.
Not that I think I'm horrible now, but
Right.
I know I'll be better eventually. So why should I start now?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you have any sense of how you push through it, or how
No.
you've overcome it?
I don't.
I just got the actualization.
Yeah.
I've realized I'm doing it. But I think, I don't know, I just keeping writing and trying to write more jokes. I figure the more jokes I write, the better I'll get. So I just try to push it. But this year I am going to try to post more reels. That's my goal, is to be more consistent with posting and recording myself, not just audios that I'm going to listen to in my car on the way to sets. Actual stuff to put
Just
out.
need to remember these jokes real quick.
Yeah, just
Totally.
I'm
Yeah.
curious, does putting in the time and the effort and the consistency, does that make you feel any less like an imposter?
Yeah.
yeah, I feel less impostery when I'm hitting all the mics and getting out there and
Yeah.
practicing and writing and stuff. But if I
Yeah.
have a bad mental health stretch where I can't leave the house or feel too overwhelmed, that I'm I'm not even a comedian.
Right.
Totally.
Yeah.
Who
Relate
am
to
I?
that.
Well, yeah, I was actually going to ask you about that, just because it's I guess if you're being validated by doing it a lot, do you feel like the opposite is also you're being demotivated by not doing it as much?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very East Coast energy is to be you have to be out every night grinding
night.
multiple nights a week.
Yeah.
If you're not doing 5
Ignoring
nights a
family,
night,
friends.
don't have a life.
Yeah.
I wonder how much is too much. At what point are you doing too much of what it is that you need to be doing to where you actually need to not be doing that much?
Where coffee doesn't help anymore. That's when you know you've gone too far. I'm I'm on my 3rd coffee of the day, and it's not even you need
This
to
isn't
you need to
helping.
take a break.
Yeah.
Sure, this is my 7th.
Yeah. Sleep would be the only thing that would wake me up more, honestly.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, no, I think I could relate to that absolutely. But I think also you just sitting you when I asked if you felt you had a way to push through it, and you were no. But I think just being but a lot of the big part of working on things is being aware of them, right? Like sometimes if something you're like, I don't know why this is feeling weird for me, and you're like, oh, maybe because I'm doubting myself even though I deserve this. No, how do I, just knowing that and being present with it can be really valuable.
Yeah, I think if I can acknowledge like, oh, well, this feeling is because of this, so I can just disregard that. Like, it's like when you meet someone and they tell you an opinion, but like you don't care about their opinion. I'm like, oh, I hear you. I don't give a fuck. Like, but like you can like easily like push that thought down if you know where it's coming from, and you can be like, that place is bullshit. Like,
absolutely.
But this person that is in my head is bullshit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I thought of it like an old voice, like like your old voice in your new self or your new.
Yeah.
That's how I think of it.
And you're like coming up with responses in the shower to your old self, like, wait a minute,
you're like, who is that negative person?
I don't know her.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it can be really helpful dealing with imposter syndrome to sort of attack the self-talk, or maybe attack isn't the right word. Edit the self-talk, revise the way that we look at ourselves and we talk to ourselves.
Yeah.
Because you're probably telling yourself like, I don't belong here. I'm not good enough. You should choose someone else. But what if you're like, I am working on getting as good as I want to be. I am practicing these things. Even if you're not, like, just say you are, and maybe you actually will.
Totally. I kind of have a joke similar to that where it's the one that I showed you earlier. It's like how I try to reframe negative things that I experience. Like I deal with like panic attacks. So I have this joke where I bring up like, oh, when I talk to new people I date, I don't call it like, I have panic attacks. I call it giving them the frazzle dazzle. Because you have to just, I don't know, like it's just giving you something like positive because it's like, it's just part of who I am. Like I'll have like parts of my life where I'll have more and I'll have less. Yeah. That's just how it is.
Well, and I think, like we talked about it last time, just like the story that we tell ourselves is like super important because it's like, if you tell yourself that this is a panic attack or that it's a bad thing or it's a bad thing every single time, then, reframing it is what allows it to have the opportunity to be, like maybe in these moments, yes, I am heightened, but like I also have a higher awareness, and that observational ability makes me a funnier person. Like just being able to reframe it, I think helps us, deal with it in a healthier way.
Yeah, I had that thought while I was having a panic attack.
See? Yeah, exactly.
So introspective.
Introspective.
No, in a good way. I think being introspective is a good thing.
Yeah.
I think it is, yeah.
Well, I like that you were talking earlier about like feeling nervous about the reels and stuff, because it's like, I remember when I first started comedy, I think I had done it for maybe like 2 years, and like I still wouldn't call myself a comedian. Like we would go to places and they'd be like, "Oh, you guys all comedians?" And I'd be like, "Oh, I do comedy." Like, but I wouldn't. But for me, it was
I do comedy.
Yeah, for me, it was like I wasn't ready to identify myself as that. So it was because it was like I don't know about the label, but yeah, I can relate with that imposter syndrome.
A closeted comedian.
I was closeted and a comedian, but yes, you are.
Other people
correct.
Probably knew, and you didn't yet.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
like,
I at least knew I was a comedian. I was sure of that much. The rest I learned later.
I like that. Yeah. Well, I was thinking about like I think maybe imposter syndrome is because it is the thing is really important to us.
Yeah.
So like maybe it's a sign that like we are doing something that's hard because we really care about it and we don't want to fuck it up. Like that's kind of how I try to think about it sometimes.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Actually, I wanted to say this lyric to somebody earlier, but it was just like, a knot up in your stomach means that something real's coming. I'd rather feel that than feel nothing. And it's like, that is a feeling that I would try so hard to avoid, but it's like, now it's something that I feel like I'm chasing, where it's just like, no, now I'm on the right track.
Did you write that?
No, that was not me. That was not me. I
should have just said
Mac Lethal. Mac Lethal.
Shout out Mac Lethal.
Yeah.
But,
crazy.
I think with performing art too, specifically, like that's another thing that came to my mind is like, well, I wonder how you guys deal with this. Like the idea that like we're supposed to have this like intimate relationship with our art, right? We're not supposed to, but like we
kind of do. Sure.
Yeah. And it's an outlet. But also when you do an art form that is like received by other people and that's part of how you evaluate it, like how do you ever like struggle with that balance, or do you ever think about that? Like how you think about your comedy, or?
Oh yeah. Like, I don't know. I don't like listening to comedy that I do. I don't, or I think I just recently watched Nikki Glazer's new special, Good Clean Filth. And when I was watching it, I was like, these are like the jokes that I write, and I fucking love it. Like it was like a first time admitting it to myself though.
Yeah,
like
that's
in the past, I was like, oh, I don't really like her. Like she just does blah. Or like it's very easy to fall into that like trap of like, oh, this comic only does this and I don't like that. So whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I like went in for it and I was like, damn, this is like really good. And I felt like it affirmed my own joke writing style to be like aspirational, to just have these like good, like filthy jokes, like just good jokes though.
Well, I think that, you know, being able to like see yourself and like the thing that you want to do in something else like that is inspiring, where it's just like, you know, like I've had people compare my music to blank or blank, and like being able, at first I think I was offended, but then I think I was almost more flattered that like they listened to what I did in this other thing that like is more known or more popular or just also came to their mind. Like it's, and I also really enjoyed what you said about the like not wanting to write certain kinds of jokes. Like I do puns. I fucking hated puns. Like I do puns and I don't think like I'm not like, oh, you know, what do you mean they're the lowest form of comedy? I know. I can't stop writing.
You're so
I
good
can't go any lower. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, exactly. Like, they keep coming to my mind and I don't know what to do with them. But I think, you know, once I kind of just embraced that and was just like, hey, this is part of like my writing process. This is, you know, these jokes are going to keep coming regardless.
So
you know.
was there like a pun lord for you that sort of got you inspired?
Mitch Hedberg. Mitch Hedberg and Stephen Wright.
Yeah.
King of the pun.
And how do you not want to be like them? They're amazing, right? If you think about someone else doing it.
Puns are the shortest jokes. That's why people don't like them. They're effective and they're short and they're like witty. They're witty and people don't like witty because they're like, it's that little kid on the Polar Express with that annoying voice. Like, that's witty. Like, it's annoying, but it's good. It's the shortest joke.
I know one joke that's shorter than a pun. Ready?
Okay.
That's such a good one.
Mike doesn't know this about me yet, though, but I'm very immature.
It would have been better if you like reached into your shirt and like.
Oh yeah.
But I respect the hustle. It's more efficient.
I was writing that for a long time.
Yeah, for real. You're like
credit.
Onomatopoeia? I mean,
I can tell you've been trying it at open mics for a while.
Yeah.
Your delivery's
It's gotten a little better.
Sure,
Yeah.
Nailed it.
But like I guess like in terms of like imposter syndrome, like what's something that recently I guess you felt imposter syndrome for, but like you're feeling less so now?
Me?
Yes, please.
Well, I think with like school, and that was actually when they started using that, or when I started hearing that word a lot, is like my supervisor, like at my first internship, the first year of school and the second year, they were like, oh, you're going to experience imposter syndrome. And I was kind of like, that's not like, I hadn't used that language before.
Yeah.
Also, I've never been in a position where I was doing something that I was like that really wanted and
that
scared of. And worked really hard for. So anyway, but that, so I think it comes up like in school, and that's how it came. I totally forgot what the beginning of your question was.
No. Just like some place that imposter syndrome has showed up, but like you recently conquered.
Okay, so I did, and I don't know if I've conquered it, but I can relate to it differently, and I'm seeing it as a sign that I'm doing, like I said, doing the thing that I really love and I'm excited about, and I'm take it seriously. And so it's not a bad thing. It's a sign that I care.
Well, and I think that it's cool that you and Amelia kind of both came to the same conclusion of like me reframing it as me making progress on it. So
yeah, and that ties into the way we talk to ourselves too.
Absolutely. What about you, Malik? What would you say is like something with like imposter syndrome where you're just like, I don't feel like I'm this person, but maybe I am?
You know, I got some praise from my supervisor recently.
Okay.
That
congrats.
Thank you. I appreciate it. She had just told me something like very in passing, very like just as a matter of fact, like it's completely not a big deal. Said that like I'm one of. She didn't say one of. She said I'm the best advocate. Which just so you know, I'm a youth advocate with high school students. And she just says that casually in passing, and then blah, 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 and these other things I need to do. I'm like, whoa, wait. Let's go back a second. Focus on what you just said. So when I heard it in that moment, I think it felt more like, she's just saying that so that like I'll be more willing
work harder.
Morale.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're about to ask me to do something, aren't you? Don't bullshit me.
But just through showing up and doing the things that I know I need to do, and just being honest with how much I know that I need to show up and trying to push myself to do that, I'm like, dang, you know what? Like, maybe I'm not an imposter. Maybe she's not lying to me to make me feel better, to make me work harder. Maybe I am really just like good at my job.
Yeah.
No, I like that. That's super
That's a
dope.
conspiracy.
Yeah. Or everybody's.
I know, isn't it
Everyone
wild?
doubts you and
Our
hates
minds.
you.
I'm just waiting
Welcome
for
to
the rug
the
to get
Truman
pulled
Show.
from under
We
me.
give so many people so much credit to people for their creativity to mess with us when we get into
Oh,
it,
dude,
right?
for
Like,
real. Like, it was literally like I was having like a really hard time, like mental health wise. Like I was having like delusions and stuff, and I was talking to my boss. And I was like, yeah, man, like ever since like it turned to New Year's, I've just been having these really bad delusions. And like, I just feel like everyone's messing with me. And she's like, so you think that everyone just set their clock for New Year's and was just like, let's fuck with Zane. And I was just like, you're right. Like I fucked up my schedule this week and I'm expecting all my friends to keep a schedule at exactly 12 o'clock. No, I like that you kind of framed it. It's just like, I give people way too much credit for like, they have a scheme, right?
Yeah, sometimes we got to point out how like unreal reality based our anxiety is. Like
mine is so reality based. I don't know what you're talking about.
it is sometimes too, but sometimes.
No, absolutely. And that's actually something I've talked with like a lot of the community members that I've been dealing with recently is just like I especially in regards to paranoid delusions, and that is that like I understand that this is also backed by trauma. So it's like, it's hard to disconnect. Like, even though you know that it's a delusion, you're like, I don't think everybody's messing with me. You've had times where people messed with you. So like separating the two, super hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're actually going to take a real quick commercial break. We'll be right back with a smoke break. We're here every Sunday from 9 to 10 a.m. on Shady Pines Radio, as well as Pretty Dope Xperience Radio.
Wednesday evenings at 9 p.m. Come explore the spaces between friends. DJ 1017 takes you into a universe unlike any other. From Pink Floyd to the Flaming Lips and anything else interstellar. The spaces between friends with DJ 1017. Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Come explore with us here on Shady Pines Radio.
And we are back with the smoke break. Hopefully that's not playing right now and you can hear me. I am your host, your old pal Zane, here with Malik Rayshawn. What's poppin'? Zoe Schwartz.
Hello.
And Amelia Evans.
Hey.
So this part of the smoke break, we want to talk a little bit about pain in relationship to artistry. I have my own thoughts on it, but I'm actually more curious to hear yours. So...
well, I was talking to Zoe about this a little bit, but I always feel like in comedy especially, there's this stigma of like, when you stop seeing somebody for a while, it's like, oh, they must have fallen in love. Like, oh, their life must be going amazing now because they're not showing up to comedy. And it's like all of us are broken, sad idiots or something.
Yeah.
And like,
you're
you
not
can't
hurting.
possibly be one of us.
Yeah.
And just like that, mostly because like I've recently started, like I'm in a new relationship and I'm like,
Congratulations.
Just like super in love, and everyone's, I don't know, I'm just like been gone for a while and I'm like coming back in now and it feels like weird. Because I'm like all happy. I'm like, what do I write jokes about? Like,
yeah. Well, and I like that you bring that up because I've definitely kind of noticed that in the past is that like it's weird with comedy because it's something that like we often create when we're feeling sad or when we're feeling stressed or upset about something. So like there is almost this jealousy from people who are all used to feeling that / writing from that place, seeing somebody no longer in that place.
It's easy to see someone win and feel like a loser. But at the same time, you know, I can understand that maybe there's a certain edge that we connect with a comedian or a rapper. I'll use Eminem, for example, when he's on drugs and he's talking about a bunch of things that are super inappropriate that I should not want to hear someone say ever.
They shouldn't write them, so that's on them.
Right. It's his fault, not my fault for liking it. That's what I would go to him for. So when he gets off drugs, when he stops rapping those same types of lyrics, and then he's just a winner, I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Not connected
it's
to
like,
this.
I didn't want comfort food from Eminem.
I don't
Yeah,
want to just chill in my sweatpants and run on the treadmill. Like, I want to freaking run from the cops today. What are you talking
exactly.
I want to be offended by your lyrics.
Yeah, not comforted.
about? I want to have to turn this off when my grandma comes in.
Yeah,
Wait,
exactly.
but what about Snoop Dogg's new like positive affirmation
about that.
song
That's-
though? It's kind of a
what's it
banger.
called?
I don't remember what it's
Is
called.
It's not I want to thank me, is it?
That would be funny. That would be funny.
I love Snoop Dogg.
He
He's so
did his
sweet.
whole acceptance speech for his Hollywood star was like, first of all, I want to thank me for all the shit I did.
Oh, that's so
For
dope.
all the times I didn't give up. And
Yeah, and then they put the music behind it, and you're like, fuck yeah.
He was like, you can do that. You can do that. You can congratulate yourself if you work hard. Yeah, that's
Good,
a good
yeah.
example.
Permission to
The
do it.
opposite of imposter syndrome, where you can literally be like, yeah, you're right. Maybe I did the work and I should be thanking myself.
Thanks, self.
Yeah. Well, and I think that there's definitely like there's a separation with like people when they see us start off doing something and then when we decide to do something different. You know, it's like it could be similar, but if people signed up for you always being sad and then you get happy, then it's they have a harder time connecting with that because they connected with the sad you.
I liked your sad brand better.
Yeah.
But this is
Like-
my question for the audience. Do you love being sad with me or do you love me?
See, and
Think
that-
about it.
Yeah,
Think about
that's-
it.
Well, and the artist that you and you think about the artist that you follow, like I don't know, music or what people that you followed. That rings really true for me because it's like you want to go on the wave with them because they're human to you, right? Like,
Yeah.
we
Exactly.
could be that to our people that like us. Too. Yeah,
Absolutely.
like, that's
Absolutely.
that's a great point.
That's a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
So, as far as like for you, do you feel like do you feel less funny because you're in a relationship?
Yeah.
Do you feel like people feel like that?
I think it's like your audience changes kind of because you're like,
Sure.
oh, well, now I'm in a relationship and I have all these like jokes about sucking dick and stuff. Like, are these, like, can I still?
You could do
Can I
that in a
still do
relationship
these?
too.
Yeah.
I'm like, I once,
Yeah.
I once was a dick sucker. Like,
the one that
I mean, I
do.
still am, but now it's a singular dick.
Like, how do I tailor this joke for now? I need to keep
Like,
the
do
joke.
I have to?
Yeah.
Do I
Yeah.
have to? It's like
Exactly.
art.
Is
It's
that
like,
a story that you still even want to tell?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, there you go. See?
or it's still part of who you are, just because
mean,
it's
yeah,
not who you
it's-
are right now.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. It's like a weird dynamic that I
Well,
kind of have to.
I like what you said
figure
about
out.
kind of like trying to find like almost a new audience because it's like at a point you were writing for that single girl who's like, yeah, you know, like I want to have fun. I'm like figuring myself out and being able to like write from that place. But like now you're writing for maybe a girl who's in a relationship, you know, like maybe, you know, like maybe you're writing for people in relationships just in general. Like those weren't people who felt themselves represented in your jokes before that can now enjoy you in a
I
different
think
way.
everyone can relate to sucking dick.
Yeah.
Though, like, and if you can't, you should.
Bringing it back.
Yeah.
You should try.
Go do it right now.
And if you're in a relationship and you're in a relationship with a person with a dick, you should.
We're giving sex advice now on the smoke break.
Exactly.
It's also mental health advice.
Absolutely.
If you think about it.
Yeah,
Sex lives
it's
are part
also
of our
mental health.
It's part of our whole
The
life.
gives
cigarettes
you
of the body.
endorphins. What?
Yeah. they're just okay. Well, anyways.
I don't know what that was, but I liked it. My brain's going wild right now based
I'm
on what
like,
you just
it's a
said.
cigarette. It's way more like a blunt. Like, what?
No,
We have painted quite the picture in my head.
I'm sorry, audience.
You're welcome.
yeah, you're.
Suck a dick.
No.
It's a joke, you guys.
I
Unless you
that,
want to.
I hope that nobody was watching this stream until they came in at that part. Just kidding. Suck a dick.
It's a term of endearment in Buffalo.
It
Go
is.
Bills,
It's a term
suck
of
a dick.
We're
Yeah,
turning it
I'm
into
gonna-
one if
yeah.
it is.
No, I swear it is.
It's a
People say
lovely
that-
invitation.
We're reclaiming it.
Okay. I was gonna say if I go to Boston and I tell somebody to
Buffalo.
suck it,
Hey,
Buffalo.
I'm sorry. It was B and on the East Coast, and I'm back. All right, we need to find a new guest because this one's leaving right now. I'm sorry.
she's from Buffalo, you guys. She's a Buffaloian. Is that what they're called? Buffaloians?
Buffalonian.
Oh my god, it really is as cool.
Yeah.
And we sounds
That's
like Snuffleupagus or
fire.
something.
That's pretty dumb.
It's me, the Snuffleupagus of New York.
Zoe, like in your case, do you feel like that maybe there was a period where you were writing from a certain space and then once you came back, you were like, I'm not really there anymore?
Yeah, I was gonna say earlier when you were talking about the pun thing, like I can absolutely relate to feeling like right now all of my jokes like have been about because I've been single and I wasn't before when I was writing comedy, and my comedy's gotten a lot more like kind of around that, and it's kind of sometimes a cliche thing for like female comics. So I've been struggling with that voice of like whatever. But then when I go and I do my jokes and I have a great set, I'm like, no, I'm good at this. That's why these are the things I'm writing, because it's working. I'm getting booked based on these.
Exactly.
But I do worry sometimes that I'm like alienating certain people or that I'm coming across like a cliche or a female comic
that always wants to talk about her pussy.
Dude,
have you ever heard a male comic?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I started shaking my head.
Everyone wants to talk about their genitals.
And,
come on.
Yeah, and I said that to somebody the other day, another female comic. I said, it's funny how we let that get to us, but like it makes sense why female identified people would like want to talk, or maybe especially maybe people that were, you know, identified female at birth would want to resist this, like we have to be, you know.
Yeah. It's like you're not even really allowed to talk about it outside of this, let alone like on a stage and like confidently and positively.
Yeah. So I think it makes sense why women end up talking about sex on stage, because it's taboo. I mean, it's getting less taboo, but overall it has been for a long time. And I think it's funny when men are like, oh, you guys, like, whatever. You guys have had the stage forever.
Dude, yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're up there telling jokes about their vaginas and I can't tell jokes about my dick. Yeah. This is like inequality, right?
I think the beef is that the jokes about women's pussy typically are better than jokes about men's dicks, unless it's
not our fault.
Jokes from women about the men's dicks that they have encountered.
Yeah.
That shit's hilarious.
So basically what you're saying is women are just better at writing jokes than men? Agreed?
Yes. Yeah.
In my experience, I've seen that to be true.
Yeah. Especially in Portland.
At least about sex, though, I feel like.
Absolutely. Especially in
Portland. I feel like women have like more interesting takes, just especially because, like you said, we haven't been allowed to talk about it for so long. Like all of the male comedian takes on like sex and stuff. I mean, there's not.
I don't last very long.
There's not new things out there, but like, there's a lot more new things for me and Zoe to find out, and like for other like, there's just more playing field.
Yeah,
there's been a platform,
and I got smaller legs, so it'll take me longer to run across it. So like, I don't know.
Yep.
I guess I can relate to the aspect of like being like, so there was like, you guys know that Amanda and I dated, right? So like before that I was like, welcome to the show, Malik. But yeah, like when her and I dated, like I was the sad like comic before that, you know, and then I was just sad with a partner. But like it was definitely like trying to find an audience for the new things that I was feeling and the new things that I was experiencing, and realizing, I guess, really that like we are still funny, but like the ways that we are funny can grow.
Yes.
You know, and like, because the jokes about you being single, if God forbid this relationship, where I'm not putting it out there, but if it weren't, those jokes are still relevant. And the jokes about being in a relationship are things that like you can also say like, hey, when I was in a relationship, you know, and you can call back to it. So it's more about building a portfolio, you know, than it is about like being I guess like judging too strongly like where you're writing from now.
And the art can be like a time capsule too.
Yes.
Like,
thank you.
The music that I used to make was very much like someone who's desperately trying to get through depression and addiction. And after like telling that story, now it's like, okay, well, I'm in a different place and I don't necessarily know what's next, but I can look back and be like, well, I know it's not that.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah, no, and I think that's really awesome, because I've very similarly too, like I originally, when I started writing music, was like from a place of I want to rap about the things I can't joke about. And so it was always coming from a place of like just a lot of hurt and pain. And I could release another EP that's like that, or I could just show the progress of like, okay, here's, you know, me having grown. Here's me having looked back and reflected on all of these things. And it's like, I think what we were kind of talking about earlier was, you know, like people like to see that growth. People want to see that. Like, do you love that I'm being sad with me, or do you love me? So
and if you're also trying to like recreate previous eras of like your art, you're gonna end up like flanderizing yourself.
Yeah, it comes across super inauthentic.
What is flanderizing?
Oh, thanks for asking.
Yeah, I wasn't sure either.
So it's a term that is
from The Simpsons.
No, it is. Yeah, it's in reference to the character development cycle, where they'll give you a character, they make the character well established, probably, you know, deeper character.
I know what you're talking about.
And then throughout time, writers change and they just start to make the character less of whatever it is that they are and more just whatever that situation requires. Happened to Patrick from SpongeBob. A lot of secondary characters experience that. But yeah, flanderization.
Okay.
Yeah, I like
That's a sweet ass word.
I've never heard that. That's good. Yeah.
All right. So before we wrap this up, I just wanted to just go around the circle real quick and ask, what was this even in reference to?
What do you mean in general?
The whole topic. We're at 1 minute. We can make this.
We're talking about art. You're painting
Pain and
art.
artistry. Yes, thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Not the only one who forgets.
No, guys.
Where are we?
So seamless. Yeah.
What
Well,
year is it?
welcome to the
My
break,
name is-
Smoke. No, but like in reference to like artistry and like paint and stuff like that. What do you think is the thing that like you're most excited about to be out of that pain?
That's a deep
I
question.
think I'm excited just to like experience life in the meantime. Like I don't have to always be making art
Yes.
constantly to be an artist.
Right.
And like you are an artist, like a comic, a rapper, a musician, like
Mhm.
whatever. Even if you're eating dinner, like even if you're not doing comedy every night, like you're still that thing because it's like just part of you. So
Yeah.
you can't get
Absolutely.
too caught up in, oh, well, now I feel happy. Now I feel sad. Like, oh, like a fucking human being.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
Yeah.
get after
Yeah.
it, bud.
Yeah.
That was perfect. That was perfect. All right, cool. Well, we're going to take a real quick commercial break. We'll be right back with the Smoke Break. We're here every Sunday from 9 to 10 a.m. on Shady Pines Radio, as well as Pretty Dope Experience Radio.
Patches, come here, boy. I love Patches, and that's why I love Patch Dog.
Hey, Dad, were you calling me?
No, I was calling the dog Patches.
Yes, Father?
Oh, not you, honey. Patch Dog makes custom iron-on embroidery patches. I can give them my design, and in a couple weeks, I've got custom patches. They can be of my daughter Patches, my son Patches Jr., or even my dog Patches.
Yes, dear.
No, that's Patches, my wife. I'm just making a commercial. And because Patch Dog loves you so much, use the code SPR10 for a 10% discount.
Yay.
And you know they've got that free domestic shipping. For more information, check out patch.dog and fall in love with patches like me.
Did you
Yes,
call me?
dear.
No, I'm making a commercial for Patch Dog. Patch Dog.
And we are back with the Smoke Break.
We're back with the smoke break, and it is one of my favorite parts and also one of Zane's favorite parts, the joke break.
Yeah.
And we are going to ask a question, and that question is, when someone asks you, what are you thinking about? And you say, nothing. What are you actually thinking about?
Damn it. So you're always so intense. Make it funny, guys. Good luck.
Amelia's got something.
Yeah, you got something?
I'm thinking about all my chores I have to do and all the things that are on the floor in my room and everything underneath my bed that I haven't organized and how the sink, there's all this like soap that's piled up underneath the soap dispenser, but I can't clean it yet because it's just soap. Like, why would you clean it? It's soap. Like, it just
Anxiety. It just immediately.
So I'm like, no one needs to know this.
yeah.
Stuff you don't want to say out loud.
Yeah.
So, like, do you typically just think about responsibilities?
I feel like I should be.
When you're not, when you don't have
Okay.
anything.
Like
you're
when
not
I'm
thinking.
home, I'm like, oh, I'm finally home.
Yeah, totally.
Why aren't I doing things?
Mm.
But I'm like,
man.
oh, I just need to sit here on my phone for 5.5 hours and then I can do stuff. Like,
Okay. I'm glad that you give yourself that 5.5 hours.
you have to.
A good 5.5 hour
Yeah.
reset
You
after
can-
work.
the best time to sit on your phone is after your shower and your towel.
Yeah.
Or in
Like,
the car
just
when you
the-
get
the
when you
scroll
pull up.
Or at
Sit in your
work
car for an
while
hour.
you're shitting.
Elite.
Or after you're shitting.
On the
like,
clock.
Take a shit and then pull out your phone.
My favorite thing to do
Yes.
is go on
Really?
lunch, clock back in, and then go to the bathroom.
Yes.
Pooping
I
on the
was
clock.
just saying that.
Malik
If you
was just
listen,
saying
everyone,
this. I
this
don't
is
know
free
why.
Capitalism.
This is free game.
Yeah.
If you go to the bathroom right before or right after
how you
your lunch break, 15 extra
Yeah,
minutes.
and that's how you stick it to the
Easy.
man.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
And to the bowl.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Fuck
Life
capitalism.
hacks.
Poop
We
on
got
the clock.
them. We got them. We got these life hacks, son.
This is I've heard people say this for a long time though. Like I feel like that's a
It's
consistent
a
thing people talk
consistent
about.
way
Yeah.
that people feel like
We're-
it's okay.
It's our
That's-
passive aggressive way.
Unless if you work
Fighting
for Amazon.
capitalism.
We're all passive aggressive.
So, like,
pooping on
what-
the clock to deal with capitalism.
We've agreed.
So, Amelia,
Sorry.
if your thoughts are always going to how to be productive, what happens if you're like, I have to do my laundry, but like your laundry machine is out, or for like you can't do that for whatever reason, and that's the only thing that you have to do.
It feels like I got to call in sick.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
like, forget it.
It's like a snow day. It's like a snow day. Like I
Yeah.
would be at school,
You know,
but there's
I
no
would
there's
do
snow.
the dishes,
so
but the water broke. Like,
so you don't particularly like desire to do these things.
no, I just feel obligated.
Okay.
So it's
I
an
feel
obligation.
obligated.
Okay.
Even if I don't necessarily like have to do something, I'm like, oh, on the back burner, I'm like, I have these things that I should be doing right now.
Well, that's healthy because my first take on that was like you're just constantly stressed all the time. Like
I am.
I'm gonna do this and then that, and it's gonna be great, and I love my life.
We're not like that.
Or, you know, I might have secret feelings that I'm not ready to reveal yet because I'm still processing them.
Mysterious.
Ooh, secret feeling.
When I say
Secret
nothing,
feelings,
I want you to figure it out.
When I say nothing, I'm working on it.
Yeah, exactly.
I accept that. I accept that. Zoe, what about you? What are you really thinking when you say nothing?
Yeah, I think it's usually like something negative that I'm already trying, like we were saying, like the self-talk, like it's probably something I'm already being like, that's not fucking true. Shut up, Zoe. And then someone asked me and I'm like, why are you trying to get me to say that shitty stuff out loud? You know, I was already
Are you working together with this person who's asking about...
And then when people, and then the other funny thing is if someone asks me that and I say nothing, they're like, bullshit, dude. I've been hanging. You aren't ever thinking about nothing. Like,
there's never nothing on Zoe's mind.
Like anybody who's been around me significant knows that I have very little downtime in here.
Yeah.
That's the downside to like being fully transparent and having good relationships because like people know when you're bullshitting them.
Yep. It's like a gift and a curse.
I can see it on your face that you're literally thinking something.
So, like, what do you distract yourself with? Like, if your thoughts are ever just too much with the nothing thoughts, like, how do you bring it back to closer to nothing? Probably not nothing, but how do you...
Manageable something.
Yeah. Oh, well, I think like a big thing I do is I try to like talk back to the voice, you know, like, and I think like I was saying earlier, I think a big step for me was just even acknowledging that like that voice is not my true voice. That took years. Like I was in my 30s, I think, when I finally was able to be like, that's not true, even though it feels true still sometimes.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably, I don't even know where I went with that, but that's...
No. I like what you were saying just about like talking back to that voice because it's... The way that somebody, I guess, framed it for me is just like, you wouldn't let somebody talk about your friend the way that you talk about yourself. Yep. So it's like, if you would tell somebody else, hey, fuck off, don't say that about my friend, to say that to you about you, your friend.
That's a really healthy skill. And it's hard to be nice to ourselves. Do you find that the thoughts that you think when idle, and I guess that if anyone wants to answer this, are your idle thoughts kind or not so kind, specifically as it relates to you and what you got going on?
I think it's the old voice for me is usually unkind, but I think I have a new voice that is the voice that talks back to that voice. So I think it's like sort of determining which one is the voice.
Your new friend stands up to your old friend.
Exactly. Yeah. But just the fact that it's even not like I'm able to externalize any of it is huge for me.
Yeah.
Because when you just take that stuff at face value, that's how, and it dictates the way you feel. So.
Yeah. Well, and I really just like that you have that separation because you said my old voice, because it's like, instead of still identifying with that voice, you're like, no, this is what old Zoe used to say to Zoe.
Yeah.
So that's huge.
Yeah. Sometimes I can
be silencing it, but at the very least you can like tell which is which.
Yeah. I can patronize it sometimes too. Be like, oh really? You're going to still say that old stupid thing? It's kind of like, we're still doing this, Zoe.
Yeah.
I feel like you said something about that earlier, like kind of like almost like downplaying the negative voice or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, I like that because I mean it's kind of corny and like, I don't know, stereotype. It's cheesy to think, but positivity, like light, love does hold more weight than like negativity and more truth. Like if you tell yourself I suck at this and you also tell yourself like I could possibly get better at this.
Totally.
Yeah.
The possibly get better, like that's objectively true. You could objectively get better at this thing. You can't objectively say you're terrible. You could objectively say you missed a few practices. That's fair.
You could say you're not as good as you want to be, but
exactly. And that's but we can always like change things around to get ourselves to where we want to be.
Yeah.
I thought this was supposed to be the joke break. This is
sometimes
this is the joke break. It's the deep fake.
The way that I usually like to introduce the joke break is sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's not, just like comedy. So
Yeah, all right.
You do always say that.
That's a good introduction. And if that
one.
were the case, I probably would have been like, this is too amazing of a conversation right now. We're supposed to be laughing.
Amelia's like,
I came here to
I need you to preface it this.
So Zane, when you say nothing, what do you really think?
Oh man, just even when you asked me that, I immediately got so anxious.
I felt it.
Well, it's because I do like to be transparent and I don't like to lie to people. So I think I like to maybe say like I'm not ready to talk about it. Not that it's not something that I don't want to, and I don't want to like lie to people. Yeah, I'm fine, because it's like that's when somebody asks if you're fine and you give them that answer, like more often than not, they know what the answer is. They're giving you a chance to answer it honestly. And I think that, denying them that answer because you're maybe embarrassed about your feelings or whatever, I think that it's not giving them enough credit as like a friend who's obviously concerned about you, which is why they're asking.
It's like, oh, they're just asking out of social nicety. Like they don't really care. But like especially in like the circles we run in, people do care. Like, like
absolutely.
we definitely are very lucky to have like a great like Portland community of people to like look out for each other. But it is daunting to be like, oh yeah, somebody asked me how I am, but I have a lot of feelings right now. Like I don't know how to do that.
Well, and I guess even trying to like find like a balance between like being honest and oversharing, right? Because like a lot of people trauma dump, and that's unfortunate because it's like there is a space between lying entirely and telling every single thing, and it's.
So have you had maybe like a negative experience where you found yourself trauma dumping and didn't notice?
Yeah, definitely a lot. Like I now like to, and it's something that like we even talked about with Amanda, is making sure like, hey, do you have space for this?
Yeah.
Making sure like right off the bat, like, hey, do you have space for this? Because that gives people the opportunity to either say, yes, I do, or no, not right now. And I think that because we do like, because I do that, like, I don't feel like I'm trauma dumping because they've made it clear that like whatever I'm about to say, they've given consent to receive that energy. Exactly.
And I feel like you make it safer for yourself too, because I need to get better at that, Zane. So thanks for reminding me. And two, I think when you do that, then you know that it is a safe space to talk about the thing that you're, versus dumping and then feeling worse because the person didn't have
was that too much?
And then you're in like self-doubt spiral of, oh my gosh, I'm being so much around my friends and they hate me secretly and like everything is bad.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, it's not a secret.
My friends hate me openly. Well, at least I know like that I can deal with. It's wondering. But
the wondering.
Yeah, exactly. It's the uncertainty that's driving me crazy. Yeah. But yeah, I think just like oftentimes like if I do say nothing, like there's definitely time like recently, like with a couple friends, they were kind of trying to check on me and they were just like, hey, how are you feeling? And I was like, good, and it was single word answer. And it's something that I don't like to do. And then like, as soon as I said it, like I felt bad because I knew that they knew the answer to that. And, I think when somebody approaches you authentically, asking you how you feel, like that's your opportunity to authentically answer. If you can tell that somebody's just trying to fucking say the next thing. So the next dialogue option's an option. How are you? I'm fine. How are you? I'm fine too. Cool.
My answer to that question is solely going to be based off of like the energy of when they ask it. If it's like in passing.
Totally.
No. Exactly. Yeah.
Where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and if you said the thing you said about like, would you said something about like not being ready to talk about it yet, or I'm marinating on it or whatever, but maybe what if the other person was like, is there something I could do to make you? Like maybe it also gives you that bridge too when you say, I'm not sure how to talk about it yet.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like even if you can't communicate where you're at, like exactly communicating like the space that you're in, I think gives people, at least they don't think it's them, because I feel like oftentimes if somebody's upset, our immediate thought is it's at me. Absolutely. And so if you can even just give them like, hey, it's not with you. I don't know how to express it. So, just check back in and I can probably give you a better answer.
That's good. Just give space for people to know that not right now, but later for sure.
Yes, exactly.
What
about
keep checking on me too? That's what that was.
Yeah. What about you, Malik? What's
I think about everything, dude. Like everything all at once the whole time.
I love that movie.
I haven't seen it. What everywhere all at once? Everything everywhere all at once. Sponsor.
Yeah. Working on it.
No, it's I think that typically I will be very transparent with what I'm thinking if I'm having a conversation with someone that I trust.
Yeah.
But if I don't have trust with someone, I don't have comfort with someone, then I might hold back a lot.
Yeah.
And so my thoughts will spiral from music to relationships, to money, how much weed do I have?
Yeah. The top four.
Pretty much the top.
The hierarchy of needs.
The pyramid of mental health.
Yeah. Sometimes food and rest are in there as well.
Yeah. Very low at the bottom though.
But I think it's more than one specific thing. It's more thinking about all of the things and then thinking about the how overwhelming it is to thinking about how overwhelming it is to think about all those things.
Yeah.
Then being even more overwhelmed. So it's just a spiral.
Yeah.
I don't think when I'm quiet, I spiral when I'm quiet. That's why I have to have music at all times.
Yeah.
That's why I'd like,
Yo, for real.
this is a whole hour with no music, you guys. Please
for real.
be patient with me.
Well, no, like I actually really like that you said that, because I was dealing with somebody who was schizophrenic, and they were like, I had asked them about, like, you know, I was like, what do you enjoy doing? And I was like, oh, do you like reading? And they said, no, there's too much silence, and that's when I hear the voices. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. If I had
I might be
voices,
schizophrenic
that's
too,
when I would hear them.
That's literally, yeah. It's like when I have time to think, that's when I think the worst.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of distraction thing.
Or maybe sometimes I'll just keep myself, I'll try to distract myself. Like I guess this isn't as much in the context of in a conversation when someone asks what I'm thinking about, but like if I'm finding myself overthinking in general, I'll just try to be active in any way. It most times will just look like playing video games.
Yeah.
It's like super accessible. I don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah. And you're at least doing something. Your mind's not on the thing. And like, stewing is definitely, a fast track to feeling worse.
Yeah. I stew.
I stew.
Yeah, getting in your body is a good way to get out of your head.
Ooh.
That's true.
Like going for a walk, I do that, and then I'm in my body more. But it sounds like video games
to
do
take a
that. For
shower.
me. Yeah,
That helps me to like
Just
reset,
clear your mind.
clear my mind. I always have to have music though, or like a podcast or something.
Mm-hmm.
What vibe of music? We talking like lo-fi or what?
Yeah, I do a lot of lo-fi for the shower.
You say
or
lo-fi?
that's what I thought it was too.
Yeah, isn't it?
We'll talk later.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to talk to me as well, because I've been calling it.
Is it
Yeah.
lo-fi? I really can't.
This is now a music podcast.
Well, apparently, majority rules, so it's gonna be
Well,
lo-fi.
you're the expert though, because I'm just.
Well, I'm questioning it. I don't know. I thought I knew, and I said it out loud.
We will be right back with the smoke break. We're here every
After
Sunday
a
from
brief
9 to 10 on Shady Pines Radio, as well as Pretty Dope Xperience Radio.
We captured the taste and sound, only here on Open Country. Sundays, noon to 1 with your host, Anti-Vandal. Folk music with Anti-Vandal. We captured the taste and sound on this Open Country. Noon to 1, Sundays, with your host, Anti-Vandal. Here on Shady Pines Radio.
We are back with the smoke break. We are here every Sunday from 9 to 10 a.m. on Shady Pines Radio, as well as Pretty Dope Xperience Radio. I'm your host, your old pal Zane, here with Malik Rayshawn, Zoe Schwartz,
Hello.
and Amelia Evans.
Hey.
We still don't know the answer. Are we closer? Are we closer?
We're getting there.
Okay. All right. Well, while we wait, let's figure out what everyone's excited for.
Oh man.
Zoe, talk to us. What are you excited
I'm
for?
excited because I have more shows booked right now than I have in a really long time,
Congrats.
or maybe ever. And all the way through March, I even have a show in March. So
That's super
very
dope.
exciting. And I
Booked
had a
out to
lull
March.
where I wasn't. So
Yeah.
What day in March?
I think it's the 16th.
Okay.
That's really close to my birthday. So if you want to like give me a free ticket.
Yeah.
Oh.
Happy birthday.
What was I going to say? Is it a show that you've wanted to do for a while? Is it a newer show? Is it?
It's actually I might be wrong about the 16th, but it's the Telltale one.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yes,
Oh,
yes,
that's
yes.
awesome.
Yeah, so it's different than normal, and it's gonna be So yeah,
What's the biggest differences? I have no idea.
I haven't done it. Have you guys both done it?
So yeah, I that's actually how I kind of got my job and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Is the person who runs Telltale is actually like a A&D specialist, and but yeah, they do like so that person does poetry, and that's actually with that shirt that I have that says "Get vulnerable, take no shit."
Mhm.
It's from that show.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So
I knew that. Yeah.
yep. So Yeah, she's super dope. That's a really cool show, and I'm excited for that. So yeah, I hope we can make it to that.
Yeah.
No, that's really cool.
March 16th.
I think
March 16th. Maybe March
Mark
16th. I'll check with my boss.
can check
Also,
my
do I work
calendar.
tomorrow? Watch the show. Shoot me a message. yeah. Hop in the Twitch chat. But yeah, no, that's super dope. So you're looking forward to doing a comedy show. What about like during this month? Is there anything that you want to send people to if they're in the Portland area?
Oh yeah, I'm doing a show at the Morrison Market on the 19th.
Okay.
And it's like the Harvey's Comedy Showcase
The
or
pop-up?
Portland. Yeah, it should be real. And I haven't been to that venue, but I heard it's really cool. So I'm
Yeah.
excited. And there's a lot of other good comics on it too. And
Oh,
we're all
yeah.
good.
Okay, cool. Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. What about you, Malik? What are we excited for?
I'm excited to be in the new year.
Be in the new year. Okay.
I'll be transparent. I'm not excited about a lot of things.
Okay,
right
sure.
now.
What are you dreading?
I'm dreading working through
Age 65.
Oh shit.
I'm dreading working through some things that happened at the end of this year, the end of last year / beginning of this year.
Yeah.
Last year was like the best year of my life.
Sure.
100% best year of my life.
Yeah.
And it ended very, very roughly.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
It's continued to be a little rough.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to get back some good energy for the year.
Yeah. Well, and I appreciate you making it out today because we ran into
Yeah.
each other on the bus and you were kind of like, yo, I almost just turned around.
Yeah.
And I was like, I
Yeah.
almost did too.
I'll even talk about that a little bit. I was like, so I'm waiting for the bus and it was going to come in like 2 minutes.
Mhm.
I'd seen it like at the intersection and I was like, you know what? I'm in like a really shitty mood and I feel like I can't do a good episode. I don't feel like I want to do an episode. And then I started walking towards the opposite direction towards my Max. And I was like, I don't know why, but I actually don't want to not do the episode. And then I got on the bus and I seen Zane and then here we are. It's been a great fucking episode. I'm really glad that I didn't abandon you guys.
Yeah. No, you did great on the joke break, asking all the questions. It was beautiful. So yeah, I'm really glad that you made it. And yeah, I can definitely relate on some days where I've felt like not doing this. But like the opportunity to talk with my friends, even if it's not about the thing that might be currently bothering me, just feeling that camaraderie and validity in my own feelings, like it means so much. So yeah, thank you for being here and sharing that with us.
Yeah.
Thank you all for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
It's all of y'all that got me into here.
Aw.
We appreciate
And all
you.
of y'all too.
Pew, pew. All right, Amelia, talk to us. What are you excited for? Or dreading? Fuck it.
Well, the dread list is long, so we'll skip that one. But I'm like looking forward to just like my new relationship and just like all the fun like firsts and stuff that happen.
Yeah.
And it's just been very good so far and
For sure.
lovely and fun. But I also have comedy shows coming up, but I don't have them memorized like the dates and stuff like Zoe, but I have them in my Google Calendar and I'm not going to forget.
Yes. Amelia will be posting right after this. We'll share it. It'll be great.
Yeah. But I feel like good about having shows to look forward to.
Yes.
It definitely is very validating. And in the past, like, because we were talking about like growth and stuff, and I'm also looking forward to like being a better advocate for myself because in the past I never would reach out to anybody and ask to be on their shows.
Yes.
And I had this weird stigma about it to myself to be like, oh, well, if they really wanted me on their show, they would just ask me. But maybe they just literally don't. Like, maybe they just forgot or...
Yeah.
Maybe they don't go to the same mic that you go to every Tuesday. They just go to a different one and haven't seen how awesome you are.
Yeah.
Well, how you are.
How you do. Yeah. No, but I am looking forward to like just sort of pushing myself a little more and hopefully getting more and more shows.
Well, even just having less imposter syndrome so that you feel comfortable advocating for yourself.
Yeah. And if you see me in March and I haven't done shit, you better like give me a stern look.
Absolutely. and a finger
little,
wag.
wag a
wait
finger
a
at me.
minute.
Be like,
Yeah, hey, I was on that episode and you said.
I heard you
Do
and
we
you
even
haven't done I haven't seen one reel, girl.
Maybe we should work on some
I gotta get
reframes.
real with
Yeah. Actually, I do want to see some reels. That way we can even share them through the smoke breaks and
I'd be honest.
Please. I'm so excited for it.
Olivia from the comments says it's lo-fi. She looked it up.
Olivia, you're a real one.
Olivia Estrada. Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Have you had a chance to meet Olivia yet?
I feel like maybe I have. I know we're friends on social media.
Yeah. She's a really sweet person. Follows along with the show.
I mean,
wow, I feel like
we're probably
I think you
Facebook
did.
friends.
Yeah. Because she came to that show that was at the Rainbow Room, Rainbow City.
Oh yeah. I always want to go to the Rainbow Room too.
That's a cool venue.
Kimberly, can you explain why you thought it was low-fi though, real quick?
Yeah. No, it makes sense because hyphy, right? Like
Spelled the same.
We're freaking lit. Like, the opposite. Low-fi.
Yeah.
That makes
How
sense.
That actually does make a lot of
adorable is that
sense.
reasoning too?
I thought it was hi-fi,
I mean, that's okay.
but I don't know.
Did you ever say that out loud?
No, I
She's
would
all, I'm
read
from
it.
Oakland,
I
where we
feel like if you did,
just say
read it.
hi-fi.
you said you read it.
I'm from Buffalo. It's hi-fi. Do you listen to hi-fi
That's hilarious.
or lo-fi?
Lo-fi. I only listen to lo-fi.
Top of the lo-fi.
I love your explanation for it, just because that does make sense. Like
I love
mean,
finding
no
a
one
silly explanation for something you clearly know is wrong, and you just like dig in
you're like,
extra
well,
hard.
If you think about
Yeah,
You
it,
could
like-
just dig in, like the person that was like, "No, it's Jif." Like, just dig in.
Wait.
Oh no.
Oh no. Yeah. I'm with you. I
Okay.
thought you were talking about either popcorn or peanut butter, and
I was thinking peanut
lost.
butter.
I'm totally lost. But it's cool.
Yep.
Peanut butter.
Jif.
Jif.
Peanut butter. No? Yeah.
GIF.
It's
Oh,
pronounced.
Giphy.
Yes.
It's pronounced GIF.
Giphy.
Yes.
But people that say GIF have like an.
I'm
like a
excited for. No, I'm
Zane, what are you
No,
excited
I'm
for
excited for my
besides?
friends to care
besides
enough about me to
hi-fi.
ask.
Send me a Lofi Jiffy later.
Okay, but like Lofi, what are you excited
Lofi. What am I excited for? Let's see. I'm excited for this new year. I'm excited, honestly, for all of our guests. Starting off with like James Hartenfeld, having you follow up the people that we got lined up, the people that Malik is going to line up as far as musicians and stuff. Like I'm excited for this year of the Smoke Break. I genuinely am. It's a show that like I've really cared a lot about. It's my place in between music and comedy, where it's like comedy I have to make everything funny, music I have to make everything rhyme, but I want to be more serious. This is just a space where I can talk, so super excited for that. Excited for my new job, really just like stoked on my boss, honestly, because like this last week I've been kind of like in a psychosis, and for me that feels like just being disconnected from my body, like almost like you're watching it third person, and like it feels like a video game, and it's the strangest feeling, and it's something that like I forget that I experience until I'm experiencing it again. And I was just having like a really hard time, kind of like just for like 5 days, and I missed work. And this is a job I give a fuck about, like a lot.
Yeah.
So like there's two things I don't miss, and it's if I can help it, and it's shows and fucking work. And usually for those two things, when I have to show up, I'm like, all right, cool. We got to do the thing. I can do it. But like, I went into work and I was like, literally like, I was like, okay, cool. Just hop into somebody else's head, talk to them about their thing, and you don't have to. And I was like so disconnected from myself that I was like, this is literally the day that I can't do the thing on the day that I need to do it.
Yeah.
And my boss just had so much compassion, and I was like, it was so insane, because it's like any other job would have just been like, I don't give a shit. I said flip the burger, but she's literally just like, hey, talk to me. Like we don't even have to worry about that. Yeah. You were late. You're supposed to be somewhere else right now. Let's not even worry about that. How are you right now? And it's like, it's such a foreign concept to me, but it's given me just a respect for myself that like I realize I have to ask for in other parts of my life.
For real, having a good boss that like respects you and everything changes the way you act as an employee in the future, because you know what you deserve.
Exactly.
And you're like, I am not gonna put up with the bullshit anymore. Like, and I'm so happy you have that right now.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I got like goosebumps hearing you tell that.
I would
little bit. Yeah, no, I mean, that's awesome.
No, I appreciate it.
Every boss should make people feel that way.
That's how I feel about my manager.
For real. No, that's awesome. And I'm glad that you also have that. And I'm hoping that you find the same with yours as well.
So far, really like the person I'm working for a lot.
Look at us,
so yeah.
Makes sense.
We all have cool bosses.
Yeah, and
That's huge.
your boss was on the show, so yeah, like
we were over here pooping on the clock. Just kidding. We're not going to do that ever again.
Exactly. No more pooping.
At our old jobs.
My boss poops on the clock. He's cool.
Oh, I forgot.
He's salary.
He's salary.
Shit.
You can afford it. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I really like what you said about like the way that your boss kind of treats you is how you treat yourself even outside of that work is because you have that respect for yourself. Because it's like a lot of times they're just when they treat you like a worker bee, you tend to view yourself like that outside of that.
Yeah.
And yeah, to have those people that are doing that. So yeah, shout out to all the fucking good bosses. Like keep doing that. And if not, take some notes. Like let us poop on the clock.
Yeah.
You know? Give me a 15-minute poop break that you pay me for.
Come on.
Then I don't have to
I'll do a better job at the other parts.
Or I'll do two of them.
I'll
It'll
give
be a full
myself
hour.
my own 15 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say, it'll be a whole hour of just...
And it'll be during the rush.
Yeah.
So, oops, sorry, can't control it. It's
This went from a promise to a threat.
If you don't care about me more, I will find you.
Well, that's been the Smoke Break. We are here every Sunday from 9 to 10 a.m. on Shady Pines Radio. I have been your host, as well as Pretty Dope Xperience Radio. I've been your host, your old pal Zane, here with Malik Rayshawn.
Bye.
Zoe Schwartz.
Bye.
And Amelia Evans.
Bye.
Later, players.